Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for this brotherly and sisterly reception. And I'm here just to send a message to this building, to my former colleagues in this building. They know very well what's happening in Ashraf is wrong. It's fundamentally wrong, and it's against the values of the United Nations. People in this building, they know this. They know exactly what's happening in Ashraf. They know exactly what has been planned for the Ashrafis. And the recent attack against Camp Liberty was something very predictable. UNAMI knows very well that the Ashrafis were evicted from their 26 years home to this place, which is highly vulnerable in terms of security. United Nations know this very well, and yet they forced the Ashrafis to abandon their homes and to go to this prison-like camp. Now, we know very well that further attacks are planned. And these people behind me here in the building know this very well. They could prevent further attacks. They could prevent further deaths. But unfortunately, they only address the situation through falsified reports. What's been reported to people behind me in the building is falsified. And it's time for them, it's time for the United Nations, if they want to restore their integrity, their credibility, it's time for them to say a word of justice to the Ashrafis. It's time for them to do something to save them from what they've been put through. And it's time also to commit to what they've been promised. They've been promised a lot of things. Nothing has happened. Nothing has been achieved. So it's time for the Ashrafis to help those who misled them to be accountable. They've been misled and they've been betrayed. Those people who misled them and betrayed them, they must be held accountable. The life of the last 8 people who died in Camp Liberty is on people in this building's hands. They must be held accountable, and they must restore the integrity and credibility of the United Nations. But as long as the Ashraf issues are dealt with through falsified reports, there will be problems ahead, and it's time for the United Nations to hear my voice. I requested repeatedly a commission of inquiry to look into what I have said publicly at different occasions. If they keep quiet, that means they are part of this process that is led into commission of crimes against humanity. They must be held accountable, and they must be stopped from doing these things and spending taxpayers' money. I address these words. I address these words to the members of Security Council who are listening to a false report today. The false report that is going to be presented to them, it's all based on allegations, all based on the presumption of guilt of the Ashrafis, all based on the presumption that the Ashrafis are terrorists, even though they've been cleared by all courts of law they've been in front of. All courts of law in the United States, in Europe, cleared these people, and yet people in this building still believe they are terrorists, and they are dealing with them as such. So it's time to really stop this process and restore the integrity of the United Nations by launching this inquiry and holding those who misled the international community accountable. I thank you very much.